Today, I want to talk about manifesting, and do you recognize that what you're asking for is really coming your way? Do you recognize a manifestation when it happens? We don't ask for something and poof, it's right there. I mean, it can be really quick when you're asking the universe for something. It can happen very quickly. But the thing about this video is let's think about what we're putting into place based on the energy that we're in when we're asking for something. And this story I love sharing because it was so powerful, and it's a reminder to myself continuously. Nancy, always be in that vibration, always be in that mindset, always be in that thought process. So when I wrote my first book and was ready to publish it, I wanted to be able to give a copy to Jack Canfield. And the reason for that is because he has been such a strong influence in my life. His work, when I first was introduced to his work, he was doing work on self-esteem, and it totally changed my life. So he's a very pivotal teacher in my life. Now, if you don't know who Jack Canfield is, this is your great golden opportunity to go look him up. I mean, he is like the number one success coach in the world. So do yourself a favor and check him out. But this story I love sharing because, as I said, when I was ready to publish my book, I wanted him to have a copy because I wanted him to know how influential he was in my life. Now I was thinking, how would I get a copy of the book? I could mail it to his office, of course, but I had these visions of, myself in my years of the corporate world, when I was the in-between person between the top CEO or president and something coming in. It's not just that easy to get something in front of someone. So I was thinking, I don't want to send it to the office and it'll get stuck in a pile, or somebody will be like, who is this? We don't know who this is. And so I was thinking, like, how could I do this? How could I do this? So basically what I was doing was asking the universe, how can I get a copy of my book to Jack Canfield? So the first thing that I manifested was something that came into my awareness. Jack was going to be speaking at an event in Arizona. Okay, that was inspiration, right? Now, this is what the difference is between inspired action and action for action's sake. Because action for action's sake means that, you're trying harder. It's like, I've got to figure out a way. But when you let the universe know, this is what I want, and then you sit in meditation every day and you just ask, okay, show me the signs. Show me the best way to be aware of the signs. So my first inspiration came when I learned that he was going to be speaking at an event in Arizona. Well, I live in California, so that meant taking action, right? Getting a ticket to the event, getting travel there and all of that, making reservations in the hotel. So inspired action and then action. Now, I was thinking, okay, so I'm at the hotel. Now, how do I get it to him? And I thought, oh, well, since Jack's speaking at the hotel, that also means that he will be staying at the hotel. So I will put it in an envelope and I will give it to the concierge and say, please deliver this to Jack Canfield's room. That was my plan, okay? So I got there. The seminar was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and Jack was speaking on Sunday. So it stood to reason for me, that he would probably check in sometime on Saturday, and I figured that I would send it to the concierge, that evening, on Saturday evening. So I get into town on Thursday night, and I have dinner with a friend who lives in the area. And when I went to my room, when I got back to my hotel and I went to my room, I put my key card in the lock and it didn't work. And I was like, wow, that's weird. I've stayed at a lot of hotels, but never had I not had a key card work. That's really crazy. So I got on the elevator, went downstairs to the lobby, and I got a new card. Went back up to my room, put the key in, bada bing, we're good. So the next morning I got up and I got ready to go to the event, the seminar. And I checked in and started the seminar, and about 10 o'clock we broke for a bathroom break. And I thought, well, I'm not going to fight, thousand women in line for the bathroom. I'm going to go up to my room. So I went up to my room, put my key card in the door, and it did not work. And I was like, whoa, this is crazy. This is really crazy. So I went back down to the lobby and let them know. And I said, this has never happened before. So just in case, why don't you give me 2 cards? So she gave me 2 cards. And I went back to the seminar. Then later on, as we broke for dinner, I went to dinner, went back up to my room. Sure enough, the card did not work in the door. And I'm like, this is just simply crazy. Wow. Luckily, I had a spare key card, right? So I went into my room. And then Saturday morning, I got up and I went to the event. 10 o'clock, bathroom break. I went up to my room to use my own bathroom. You guessed it, the key card did not work. So I thought, this is really nuts. The people at the front desk are going to think I don't know what I'm doing here. So I went down to the lobby, and as I'm walking up to the desk clerk, who do you think was standing right there? Yep, Jack Canfield. He was talking to a group of people, so I walked over to where they were, and I just kind of stood off to the side until he, recognized or made the recognition, and I said hi, and he said hi. And then I thought, oh, this is great. Eye contact. This is even better. So by that time, I had sent my manuscript up to his room, and I went over and went over to the elevator, and this particular hotel has 2 sets of elevators. One that goes from the lobby to floor 15, and then the other one's 16 to 30 or whatever. So I went to the back set of elevators, and I was waiting for my elevator doors to open, and I hear Jack speaking to his assistant. And I thought, oh my gosh, he's coming this way. This is so crazy. This is so wonderful. So of course, when the doors opened, I held the doors open and they came around, and there we are, 3 of us on the elevator. And I am just beaming inside because I'm like, wow, this is happening even better than I could have expected. So Jack turned to me and he said, how are you? And I said, I'm fabulous. Thank you for asking. And he goes, great. Why are you so fabulous? And I said, well, I'm just getting ready to publish my first book, and I'm really excited about it. And he said, well, that's wonderful. Congratulations. Perhaps I'll read it someday. And I said, oh, I'm sure you will, because I sent a copy to your room. And he looked at me and he goes, wow, how fortuitous of you. And I said, well, I do learn from the best, Jack, because of course, this is something that I learned from Jack about taking action. Now, what is the moral of this? Number 1, not only was I able to give him a copy of my book, but number 2, was able to actually have a conversation with him, so I was fresh in his mind when he read or looked at the manuscript. Now, the next day, Sunday, we get to the seminar, and this is the day that Jack is speaking. And I'm so excited because, of course, I've shared it with my friends. Gosh, I actually got to give him a copy of my book. I'm so excited. So my friends knew how much this meant to me. And I'm sitting there in the audience, and Jack walks on stage, and he says, before I get started, I just wanted to let you know that I met a woman on the elevator yesterday, and I kind of went like that. And he said, and she wrote a book, and I think you should read it. And I saw everyone in the room, of course, get their pen and paper out, and they're writing down the name of my book being talked about by Jack Canfield from the stage. Now, that was way more than I asked the universe for, way more. But here's the thing. Would you recognize a miracle manifestation when it's in the process? Because I could have been a little ticked off, or a lot ticked off, that the key card didn't work, right? I could have said, oh my gosh, this is so frustrating. What's wrong with this hotel? I don't know why this is not working this way. I could have been so focused on my goal for going there that I didn't want anything to stand in the way, because I had envisioned it to work in a way that I thought it needed to work. But that's not how I went. I went there knowing that I was going to be able to get a copy of my book to Jack up to his room. I knew that. And everything else was gravy for me. Everything else was icing on the cake. So how often in your life can you ask for something and then stand back and say, this is what I really want, And I'm not sure how it's going to happen, but I know it's going to be fabulous. I know it's going to happen in a way better way than I could envision for myself. So the next time you really, really, really want to manifest something, what are you looking at that you believe is standing in your way? You know, for me, it was the key card that didn't work. But in life, it could be the divorce, the job you lost, the car wreck. I mean, there are so many experiences in our life that we look at and allow ourselves to be negatively impacted. And when we allow ourselves to be negatively impacted, we create that vibration, right? That frequency of negativity. And then we start attracting more negativity to us. And then we throw our hands up in the air and we say, this stuff doesn't work. But it does work. And it works based on how you are putting out into the universe what you really want, truly, and taking 100% responsibility for your actions, for your choices, for your thoughts. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? Remember, I'm always saying your feelings are driving the bus of your life. Wherever you're going in life, man, your feelings are taking you there. So when you're feeling on top of the world, when you're feeling like this is what I want and it's going to happen, and boy, when it happens, it's going to be freaking amazing. Know without a shadow of a doubt, have faith that what you want is yours for the asking. All you have to do is sit back and say, I believe it will happen, and I believe it's going to happen in the most magnificent way. Start making your own manifesting miracles. Start sharing your manifesting miracles, because when other people see what you've done, it raises the vibration, right? When one of us has high vibrational frequency and we're around other people, it has a ripple effect. We infuse that into other people. So when one person is happy, you can affect the happiness of a lot of other people. But likewise, when one person is down in the dumps, you can affect the energy in the room around you. Have you ever been into a room or party or something and somebody walks in and you just feel like they suck the air out of the room? Is that person you? Think about it. We have to take 100% responsibility for what we're thinking, what we're saying, and how we're going through our day every single day. I hope that this has given you something to think about and that you will start manifesting miracles faster and faster and faster. In the meantime, this is Nancy Muller, the one and only Life Sensei, saying ciao for now.